They need to come on in.
I'd love for us to start right away.
We're probably live right now, so let's go.
Yep.
We're playing the first song, but more soft than they back out.
Shabbat Shalom. We've got the band of Milk and Honey here tonight. Yeah.
Page 8.
Hine Matov, how good it is. Hine Matov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is.
How sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is
to be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleikum. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shevet achim gam yachad. Shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We're here, we're back in the sanctuary and sharing with all of you who are here and those who are in your homes remotely, getting to bring in Shabbat together. It is our big pleasure to be here with the band of Milk and Honey, Kim Governor and Evan Wool and Neil and Alan Levin and Carol Roman. And we're really looking forward to an evening of heart opening and deep breath, and just letting things go into Shabbat. So, reminder that we're all going to stay masked. I'm only going to take off my mask, or Kim will when she is singing or speaking, but otherwise we're staying with our California mandate. And this week's Torah portion is really about building. It's about how we build together. And it talks about the Israelites building of the Mishkan, of the tabernacle. And the title of the parsha is Truma. Truma is the offering that people would give, their free will offering for the temple, something that they wanted to contribute. And what the actual meaning is, Truma comes from the Hebrew root leharim, which means to lift up. to lift up. And I think as we are beginning to settle into Shabbat, it's important to remember that Shabbat is not just a time of letting everything go. It is a time of rest. It is a time of stopping working and doing. But it's also a time of lifting up, of being able to say each ordinary moment has a holiness to it, has a potential to connect, to be alive. And every time we come to each moment with the intention of lifting it up, of bringing our full attention to saying this moment is worth bringing my full presence to, then we are making our own offering to God. And Shabbat is really that space. It's that space of offering. So as we sing together, as we have silence together, I welcome you to consider what it means to lift up this moment wherever you are. It would be my pleasure to invite up our president, Amy Packer, and Merritt Weiss to light candles for help lead us in the bringing in of Shabbat.
That was a new one.
That's the test.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kichanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
So just wherever you are in your space, just take a look around you, whether it's around at your dining table or your living room or here in the sanctuary, and feel how the quality is different. There's a quality of Shabbat. When we sing Lecha Dodi in just a moment, we're going to say a verse in the second verse that we call Shabbat a Makor HaBracha, a source of blessing. And Makor HaBracha is also connected to the word brecha, which means a pool. So it's almost like this pool of blessing that we can dip into, and a place of nourishment, of strength that is able to fill our moment. So Lecha Dodi is on page 18.
Yalalalai lecha dodi, yalalalai lekrat kala, yalalalai penei Shabbat nikabela, yalalalai lecha dodi, yalalalai lekrat kala, yalalalai penei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor, Shamor v'zachor, b'dibur echad, hishmianu elam yuchad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, l'shem ol tiferet ve'litilah. Sing it with me. Yalalalai lecha dodi, clap. Yalalalai lekrat kala, yalalalai penei Shabbat nikabela, yalalalai lecha dodi, yalalalai lekrat kala, yalalalai penei Shabbat nikabela. Verse 2, Likrat Shabbat. Likrat Shabbat, לכו ונלכה כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוך סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה יאללה לי יאללה לי לחלודי טק 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 יאללה לי לכלכלה יאללה לי פני שבת נקבלה יאללה לי לחלודי יאללה לי לכלכלה יאללה לי פני שבת נקבלה. Verse 5, Hitoreri.
Page 19.
Hitoreri.
Wake up.
Hitoreri. Kiva orech, kumi ori. Uri, uri. Shir daberi. Kavod Adonai. Adonai alichnai. Adonai, yalalai lacharodi. Come on. Yalalai lachalkala. Yalalai pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat nikavela. Yalalai lacharodi. Yalalai lachalkala. Yalalai pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat nikavela. Please turn and face an open door to welcome the Shabbat bride. Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam besimcha. ובצולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי קלה יאללה לחנודי Shabbat nikavela yalalai lachanodi yalalai lekakala yalalai pnei Shabbat nikavela.
You may be seated. At this point, we transition between the Kabbalat Shabbat, the special prayers that are specific for Shabbat, to the main body of our service, and want to acknowledge that some of us, as we gather here for Shabbat, are holding loss in our hearts, where we might be here to say Kaddish. And if you're in a place of feeling the loss of a loved one, we say to you, Hamakom Yenechem Etchem, may the Holy One comfort you. And may you feel the blessing of this moment of the community that cares about you, holding all of us in love. We'll continue with the Chatzi Kaddish, which is on page 22.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yalmad yivarach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei techol Beit Yisrael bagala uv'yizman kariv v'yimeru Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olam meholmaya yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitramon v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithale v'yithalal, shemei dekudasha brichu, leila min kol birchata v'shirata. Tu ishbechata v'nechemata, damiron bi'alma ve'imru. Amen.
Please rise for the Baruch Hu, page 23.
Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Be seated. Page 26, as we welcome the evening, the turning of the cycles, light into dark.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro mariv aravim b'chokhma poteach she'arim. God of creation, who makes the evening fall from light into darkness with the setting of the sun. You unfold the heavens with brilliant moon and stars and wrap our souls with peace. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro mariv aravim b'chokhma poteach she'arim. Baruch atah Adonai Hamariv Aravim.
We get ready to prepare for the Shema with the kavanah to listen. Shema means listen, to hear, but it also is hear as in I hear you, as in I understand. So it's saying I understand the deep reality of God's presence in every moment. We're on page 30, and we'll open to Shema with listen.
If you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't know what to say, Then listen, listen to our God. Is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? Then listen, listen to our God. Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all your might. Write them and learn them and teach them well, every morning and night. Close your eyes and listen. Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Stop all the chatter that gets in the way, and listen, listen to our God. When the wind and the thunder finally disappear, there's still a voice that you will hear if you listen, listen to our God. You can hear from the top of the highest hill, or from the valley below. It can come from the edge of the universe. It can come from within your soul. Close your eyes and listen. Please join me while I sing the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam. Listen, listen to our God. Listen, listen to our God.
If you're standing, please be seated. Ve'ahavta, page 31.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. Please turn to page 37 for Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha va'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'edah b'kodesh. Nora tehilot ha'sefele, Nora tehilot ha'sefele. Malchutecha ra'u v'necha Bokei hayam lifnei Moshe Zeili hanu ve'amaru Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai God Israel.
We turn to page 39 for Hashkivenu, but the lines that we're going to chant and sing together is the third one. Spread over us a shelter of your wholeness, of your peace. And what I want to invite us to consider is that when we ask for God to spread over a shelter of wholeness, that we are that expression of God. We're reminding ourselves to be a shelter for others, and we're inviting others to be a shelter for us. This is the way that we hold each other up. Page 39, third line.
Ufros aleinu sukat, sukat shelomecha ufros aleinu sukat, sukat shelomecha. Yalai lalai, yalai lalai, yalai lalai, lalai lalai, yalai lalai, yalai lalai, yalai lalai, lalai lalai, ufros aleinu sukat, sukat shelomecha. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'yal Yerushalayim.
Amen. Page 41.
We're gonna pick up the pace a little bit with Vishamru. Vishamru, B'nai Yisrael, et HaShabbat, et HaShabbat. Vishamru, B'nai Yisrael, et HaShabbat, et HaShabbat. La'asod et HaShabbat, Ledorotam, Berit Olam, Berit Olam. Vishamru, Shabbat Beni Uvein Bnei Yisrael Oti le'olam Oti le'olam. Come on. V'shamaru Bnei Yisrael Et HaShabbat Et HaShabbat V'shamaru Bnei Yisrael Et HaShabbat Et HaShabbat Ki sheshet yamim Asa Adonai Et HaShamayim Ve'et ha'aretz V'shamaru Bnei Yisrael Et HaShabbat Et HaShabbat V'shamaru Bnei Yisrael Et HaShabbat Et HaShabbat. Last one. Ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash Vayinafash Vayinafash. Come on. V'shamaru Bnei Yisrael Et HaShabbat Et HaShabbat V'shamaru Bnei Yisrael Et HaShabbat Et HaShabbat V'shamaru Bnei Yisrael Et HaShabbat Et HaShabbat V'shamaru Bnei Yisrael Et HaShabbat Et HaShabbat.
In a moment, we're going to enter into our Amidah prayer, one of the central prayers of our evening service. It's a prayer that we'll start out doing the blessings together, and then it moves into silence. And one could say that really what all prayer is about, all spiritual practice is about, is waking up. You know, we're very familiar with waking up from sleep, but is it possible to wake up when we're awake? Is it possible to open up our eyes even wider and deeper to the reality that's around us, to the godliness, to the beauty that's around us, to the way that we are an intimate part of all creation? And that's really the intention of our prayer tonight, is how do we open up our eyes? How do we become more awake, more aware? So I invite you to stand, and Kim will start us out with that kavanah, open up our eyes, and then we'll move into the Amidah prayer.
Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. We will know that you are one.
So the Amidah starts on page 45, and one of the things that you'll notice is this opening blessing is acknowledging God as the one who bestows loving kindness, creating everything out of love. Creating everything out of love. This is our foundation. This is where we begin. When we get into, all of us during the week, when we're stressed or when we're moving too quickly, we get so caught in the petty things, whether it's with our spouses or our family or whatever it is, and we forget what's most important, which is that place of love, that place that connects, that reaches out, that embraces. So as we begin our Amidah together, let's have our prayer come from the heart, from that place of love. Stand east towards Jerusalem, towards the wall, towards our sacred site. Please join me, page 45. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevii Geula Lifnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Ata Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah, Ata Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Ata Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishanei Afar, Michamocha Bagevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lechayot hakol, Baruch ata Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yalelucha selah. Baruch ata Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please continue silently until page 59. Traditional prayers on the right side of the page, poetic offerings on the left. Page 57 together.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim, Tasim Leolam, Tasim, Tasim Leolam, Ki Ata hu Melech Adon, L'chol HaShalom, Shalom Barav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim, Tasim Leolam, Tasim, Tasim Leolam. Bechol be'enecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha. Tasim, tasim leolam. Tasim, tasim leolam.
So nice to be together tonight. Shabbat shalom. You know, sometimes we need to complain. Sometimes we need to bemoan. Sometimes we need to lament. We need to express our dissatisfaction, our frustration, our despair at the ways that reality doesn't quite look the way that it should. We may complain about certain people, situations, personal and political, intimate and communal. And every time we complain, we're attempting to express what we value, what we care about, and what we want to see by pointing out what's lacking. And while we may find people to commiserate with us, our complaining doesn't help us create what we want to see. While it may be surprising, it's no accident that the book of Exodus ends with the building of the Mishkan, the portable sanctuary for God in the desert. It's surprising because the book of Exodus is all about the transitions of the Israelites from a family to a people and the journey from slavery to freedom. It rises to a climax with the covenant made between God and the people on Mount Sinai. And this seems like the logical place to end the book and then save all the building instructions for the book of Leviticus. But no, this week's Parsha, Truma, is the first of 5 Torah portions that end the book of Exodus, all focused on the building of the Mishkan and the items inside of it. I believe that the building of the Mishkan is actually an extension of the revelation of God to the Israelites on Mount Sinai. If we recall the history of the Israelites up until now, it's been a long series of complaints. First, they complained when Moses' first intervention made their situation worse. Then at the Red Sea, they said to Moses, "Was it because there were no graves in Egypt that you brought us out to the desert to die? It would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the desert." Did they have New York accents? After crossing the sea, then they continued to complain. First about the lack of water, then the water was bitter, then regarding the lack of food, then about the lack of water again. Then within weeks of the revelation at Sinai, the only time in history that God appeared to an entire nation, they then made a golden calf. If an unprecedented sequence of miracles cannot bring about a mature response on the part of the people, then what will? And it was then that God said, "Let them build something together." This simple command transformed the Israelites. During the whole construction of the tabernacle, there were no complaints. The people contributed some gold or silver or bronze. Some brought skins and drapes. Others gave their time and skill. They gave so much that Moses had to order them to stop. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs of blessed memory sums it up. It's not what God does for us that transforms us, it's what we do for God. So as long as every crisis was dealt with by Moses and miracles, the Israelites remained in a status of dependency. Their default response was complaint. For them to grow to adulthood and responsibility, they had to undergo a transition from being passive recipients of God's blessings to active creators. The people had to become, as the Talmud frames it, God's partners in the work of creation. Judaism, our tradition, is God's call to responsibility. God doesn't want us to be reliant on miracles or be dependent on others. God wants us to become God's partners, recognizing that what we have from God, but what we make of what we have is up to us, our choices and our effort. It's not an easy balance to achieve. It's easy to live a life of dependency and to simply complain when things don't go our way. And it's equally easy to go in the opposite direction and slip into the mistake of saying, as it's quoted in Deuteronomy, "My power and the strength of my hands have produced this wealth for me," not acknowledging the balance between God's blessing and our own efforts. You may be familiar with the classic story about the religious man who was drowning. This man lived a fortunate life and always believed that God was watching over him. Well, he's drowning, and a small boat comes to rescue him. And he waves him off, saying, "God will provide." The Coast Guard comes by with a bigger ship, honking its horn, throwing a life raft, and he waves him off, saying, "Oh, God will provide." A helicopter comes and hovers over the water, yelling at him to take the rope and climb on board. And the man turns away, yelling, "God will provide, God will provide." And the man drowns. He's at the gates of heaven, and an angel welcomes him in. And he's so disappointed and disillusioned. He says to the angel, "I devoted my life to you. I always believed in you. And in my moment of greatest need, you abandoned me." And the angel said, "Are you kidding me? I sent you 2 boats and a helicopter." So the revelation at Sinai, the revelation of God's presence, didn't end with the 10 Commandments. It didn't end with the receiving of the Torah. It didn't culminate with a spiritual experience. It culminated with them building a home for God together. As long as they held on to the vision of what should be and didn't include themselves in the process of making it so, they were disappointed and frustrated. They were complainers. But as soon as they joined together on a common project, their hearts were alive. This culmination of the book of Exodus is an invitation to all of us. It's an invitation to realize that God wants us to be part of the solution. Whether it's about our own well-being, healing important relationships, or creating the community that we want to see here at Temple Bethel of South Orange County. One of the strategic priorities that we hold here at Temple Bethel is to create an empowered, engaged Jewish community, empowered, engaged, and educated Jewish community. We prioritize this because we know that the only way we are successful in making a dwelling place for God is if we're all involved in the building. Not only our financial contributions, but our time, our vision, our passion, and our love. So please share with us your visions of what community can be and ask what you can do to help it be a reality. Shabbat Shalom. So before we continue, we have some special simchas to celebrate. We have some birthdays in this space. It's really my pleasure to help celebrate Iris. Happy birthday, Iris, and Carolyn and Lily. And if you're tuning in, Carrie Bullion, we want to celebrate with you too. So please, masked, come on up to the front here if you don't mind. Rabbi Shefa Gold, one of my teachers, says that when it's our birthdays or the time of our birthdays, we have incredible potential to bless others. We are like a vessel for blessing. It's a special time. So I want to just invite you to think of one word that you want to bless the people in your life with. So just take a second to tune in with what's that blessing in one word or a sentence or a phrase that you would like to bless people in your life with. and then I would love for you to share it. So,
Grateful. Health. I said the same thing, health.
grateful and health, beautiful. And my blessing to you, I really loved this. This comes from a woman named Janice Steinberg. Whatever makes you, you know what, I'm going to do this. Whatever makes you weep, may it open your eyes to beauty. Where your heart has hardened, may it crack open and let the light flood in. Whatever worry squirrel cages in your mind, may it animate your creativity. Whatever pettiness worms through your door, may it teach you to laugh gently at your very human self. May all the wrong turns you've taken, the fumbles, the stumbles, the epic screw-ups, lead you to this meadow, this river, this beloved, this work, this burning bush that was waiting for you. Happy birthday, you guys. And we can all sing Simmen Tov, Mazel Tov, and Mazel Tov, and Simmen Tov, Simmen Tov, and Mazel Tov, and Mazel Tov, and Simmen Tov, Simmen Tov, and Mazel Tov, and Mazel Tov, and Simmen Tov. Love you guys. Thank you guys.
Mazel tov.
We now want to extend this blessing from these birthday blessing givers to blessing for healing for those of us in our community and in our lives that are struggling with physical illness or mental illness or addiction through a Misha Beirach prayer. You can find it on page 63 in your prayer book. It's the middle one. And I want to invite you, if you're tuning into us remotely or if you're here in the sanctuary, to say out loud the names of people that you want to bring healing to. Just bring it into the space, and in just a moment, we'll start our prayer.
Misheberach Avoteinu Mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mikor habracha liavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Please stand for Aleinu on page 64.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מולכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. When I came to Temple Bethel a little over 10 years ago, one of the customs that I was so impressed with was that we didn't just give our healing prayers with words. We gave them with gemilut chasadim, with acts of loving kindness. And so we have a custom of being able to bring a challah on Shabbat evening to people in our community who are ill or homebound or not able to get out. And it's an opportunity there's a challah that has an address and a phone number. And we stopped doing this obviously during the pandemic, and this is the first Friday night that we're able to come back and do it. And all you have to do is give a call to the person as you're leaving to let them know that you're coming by to drop off a challah, and you just drop it off at the door. You don't need to knock on the door or open it. Right now, people are at different levels of comfort with COVID, but just to let them know that it's going to be there, and they get to have a little taste of Shabbat. So if there is anybody here that would do this mitzvah, we have 2 challah deliveries to make, and there are all kinds of directions on here about it. The first one is for a congregant in Laguna Hills, not very far from here. Anybody on your way home tonight? Beautiful. We'll take this. Tamara, would you take this back to the gentleman right here? Thank you, guys. Awesome. And we have one more that is a little farther out, but well worth it, and I can tell you this person would appreciate it so much. This is Ladera Ranch. Anybody be able to head out to Ladera Ranch? You could also do it tomorrow morning if you want to. It's just Tamara, thank you. Beautiful. Okay. Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 73. And in our synagogue community, we are in the week of remembering Marilyn Kappas, the mother of our member Chris Kappas. In the Shloshim, the 30-day period for Rita Robinson, the mother of our member Jay Robinson. And Randy Golkin, our member and mother of Rachel and Benjamin Golkin. And if I say the name of your loved one, whether you're here or you're in your home remotely, please stand symbolically to honor your connection to them. Raymond Asner, Miriam Benjamin, Saul Binder, Esther Blumenfeld, Regina Brandewine, Hedwig Breisacker, Gertrude Brown, Harvey Karp, Henrietta Dax, Maheen Davidi, Sue De Lima, Irene Diamond, Riva Dorman, Sylvia Dreyer, Howard Duhan, Chava Fackler, Jane Fine, Blanche Fisher, Samuel Fleitman, Ronald Gabrielson, Harris Gaylord, Dr. Morton Gernreich, Esther Goldman, May Goldman, Francis Greenstone, Ray Irving, Florence Katz, Bess Kaufman, Adele Kaufman, Jack Kirby, Ross Klein, Nathan Kratchman, Rabbi Alan Krauss, Ida Crystal, Maurice Labowitz, Samuel J. Lawrence, Solomon Leiter, Eleanor Levine, Ella Light, David Lipton, Howard Manko, Walter Manola, Benjamin Marshak, Helen Martin, Bill Matskin, Harry Miller, Sam Mitzman, Helen Moskovich, Evelyn Munn, Willie Nathan, Lawrence Rappaport, Alexander Gregory Raskin, Joseph Reich, Paul Rubenstein, Ann Roof, Elsie Saul, Edith Savlov, Jack Scheinman, Irma Seltzer, Arnold Schulman, Alice Silverman, Shirley Sklar, Rhoda Son, Sylvia Squires, Morris Strasberg, Jean Solo, Richard Waxler, Julius Weiss, Ida Zimmerman, Max Zuckerman, also my father, Lee Lindweeder. Anybody else that we're saying Kaddish for? Yeah, and Joan August. Thank you. Please join me in Mourner's Kaddish. You may stand or sit according to your custom. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach hirutei v'amlich malchutei, בחיי חון וביומי חון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. זיכרונם לברכה, may their memories be for a blessing. If everybody would sit except for our board members. You can see who serves on our temple leadership. If you want to ask any questions or connect or introduce yourself, please do before the end of services. Which one of you, Tamara or Amy, would like to share some temple news?
Shabbat Shalom, sorry. Upcoming, we have join us for Shabbat morning service online tomorrow morning at 9:15 a.m. We will begin in person coming up on February 19th. We can't wait to be back together again. As a reminder, Chat with the Board is this coming Wednesday on February 9th at 8 p.m. Go to our website or contact me for details. The Temple Bethel 6th Annual Meditation Retreat is happening this Sunday, February 6, 2022. You can still register now on the Temple website. It is all online, right? Yes, okay. TBSOC is pleased to offer some very different and inspiring Shabbat prayer experiences with Kol Tefillah, Innovative Prayer Shabbaton on February 11th and 12th. Please check the Temple Services page for more details. Register now for TBSOC Pathfinders program on Tuesday, February 15th at 7 p.m. This program is a good way to nurture your Jewish growth in your own unique way. Visit our website for more details and to register. Support our religious school with the mitzvah of sending Mishlach Manot. Thank you. To members of our community. Check your email and our website for how to participate. We are excited to announce that our first Friday Shabbat Festival returns on March 4th. Please look for details in your weekly emails. Shabbat Shalom.
We will sanctify Shabbat together with Kiddush and Motzi before we do our closing song. So the Kiddush prayer is on page 74 if you want to follow along. Invite everybody to stand if you're able and comfortable. If you're with us in your home and you want to have a glass of something, please raise it with us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat L'chaim. If If you have some challah there at home, get it together, raise it up. Imagine that we have two. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
Yes. Hit it.
Hey oh, 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 hey oh. Oriyavo shalom aleinu. Oriyavo shalom aleinu, Oriyavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Oriyavo shalom aleinu, Oriyavo shalom aleinu, Oriyavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom, Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Hey yo, 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 hey yo. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam shalom, salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam shalom. Hey oh, hey oh, hey oh, hey oh, hey oh, hey oh. Shabbat shalom. Have a wonderful, peaceful Shabbat weekend.